Right, format's back like this for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're vlogging. I hate it. My arm gets sore, your eyes get sore, you get a very grotesque close-up of my face, but it's the best we could do today because the big man's got work at 7 and I don't have time to sit and edit and all the rest of it. So this is the formation we're going to have to go for. And talking about formations, dearie God almighty, Neil Lennon, he's got some set of homos on him. Before we even get into the game today, the team has just been announced. And honestly, I think there's more chance of me making a video in the buff than there is a Neil Lennon playing a striker up front. Once again, we don't have a striker in the park. Kamala and Ayeti both on the bench. What is happening? Why has he done this? Has he not seen the backlash from midweek? I'm telling you, game's obviously not kicked off yet. I'm recording this before the game has started. If we do not win by a good few goals this afternoon, it's going to be an absolute meltdown once more, and probably to a bigger extent than what it was on Wednesday night. So I'm hoping that we go out there. I'm hoping whoever is up front, whether it be Ryan Christie again, whether we try something else out, they need to score and we need to create chances. Motherwell's start to the season has been abysmal. Today is massive, and the three things that we learned from today are very important. I don't know what I could say first things first, Neil Lennon's a stupid dick. I could say that, but I'm not going to yet. It might come through. We might get a good result. We don't know. We need to wait till the game kicks off and sees. I will be doing the kind of regular updates as the game goes on. I'll talk to you at half time, talk to you at the end of the game, give my final thoughts, just everything to make sure I can get the video out on time to the best quality possible. If you do enjoy the video, hit the like button below for another video tomorrow. That's it. Just do that. I'm not even going to set a goal. Just press like. We're going to wait for kick-off now. If anything else happens, I will inform you from there. Just to be clear, I will have my opinions on the full game just towards the end of the video today rather than the start. It's not like I'm going to skip the overall, breakdown of what happened throughout the game. That will come. You've just got to be a wee bit patient today. My apologies. It's just how life goes. Right, first half over. Celtic won, Motherwell nil. It took some time, but we got the goal. And, the same sort of negatives from Wednesday night are showing moving up the park without a striker. We really need one in the park. It's getting beyond a joke. Ryan Christie should not be in that position. He's not fit to play there. He's not a striker. And, it's really worrying because Neil Lennon keeps going about how Kamala and Ayeti aren't match sharp. Right, there's a couple of players on that pitch who do not look sharp enough to be playing today. Scott Brown being one of them. He looks knackered. A wee bit of a nervy ending to the half there. Motherwell having a big chance. Barkas producing quite a good save. But Forrest, the man who got the goal, we've all been judging him, but he stepped up and got the goal as usually does that sort of thing. I wouldn't say his performance has been sparkling, but a spectacular finish. But the one thing that I picked up from the first half I'm going to touch in for the first three things out of the three things we've learned is about Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor, what a bit of football leading up to Forrest's goal, commanding the ball, taking it forward, a fantastic run by him, and it just goes to show that McGregor deserves to be playing and should be playing in a more advanced role. A very interesting tweet was put up during the week about how McGregor under Neil Lennon has been playing a much deeper role that's suffocating a lot of the things he can do and a lot of the things he can bring into the game because he's sitting so far back, and when he moves forward he offers so much more. He's a goal scorer as well. Mind, there was nights when he was scoring against Zenit St Petersburg, Bayern Munich, a lot of league goals as well. Remember him scoring at Hampden a couple of times, but he's not getting those chances now because of how far back he is. But tonight, in this game just there, he's just showed, moving forward with the ball, how much of a talent he is and how much flair he can bring into the game. Now, of course, it's difficult when you've got Christie in the team, you've got Cham in the team, they've got, really good players moving up that park. In the middle of the park, we've got so many options, and now we've got Turnbull as well, so it's not easy enough to say, right, McGregor in, drop somebody else and then making Cham sit deep, because he can't do it either. I know it's a hard decision, but McGregor has to have allowed these opportunities to play in that advanced role. I think he can do stuff like that, create a moment of magic that breaks up the game. We're showing against Motherwell right now how much we struggle with getting into these teams, breaking them down. When they sit behind the ball and they put the pressure on us, sometimes we really struggle to break them down. McGregor offers that moment of magic that can get the game, split them up a wee bit and get something out of it. I loved it. Great run, class player, we all know it. But maybe going forward we have to experiment a bit more with allowing him to play some more attacking football rather than sitting so deep all the time. Full time, 3-0 Celtic, fantastic result we got there in the end. Second half, a lot better than the first half, and it brings me on to the second thing that I learned from the game, and I'm going to bring out in that, but just very quick recap. Look, we done exactly what we had to do. We went out in Prove. Now we know how to play football, we know how to score goals. We're not as dire as what we were on Wednesday night, and Neil Lennon doing a good job to bounce back from what was an embarrassing result midweek against Ferencvaros. But do you know what? It's not all bright and rosy. We've got to remember there's still a long way to come, a long season to go through, and there will be criticism throughout. I think today we can't get over our heads that everything's perfect and everything's back to normal. There's still problems to address. We still started the game today with no striker up front. We still looked a bit tired and a bit sloppy in that first half, like there was no motivation in the team. Yes, we got there in the end, but these 2 weeks are vital for Celtic to pick themselves up and look at the importance of coming back with a lot of intensity, a lot of motivation and passion to score, to play football that is going to entertain and also scare opposition. It's not going to be long before we're playing Rangers, and right now I'll tell you, Rangers will come to Parkhead and they will bombard us. They will want to pile the pressure on us and get forward time after time again. We need to match the intensity levels. We can't play like we have today and the other games in the league season so far. We can't be lackadaisical. We can't slip up for a moment. We need to pick up on all those little things. But these 2 weeks will be massive, and I'm just glad we got over the line with a very impressive final third of the game. Second thing I learned then, and that is 3-5-2 just goes to show you. The minute Ayeti came on, we went to 2 strikers up front. Doesn't even have to be 3-5-2. 2 strikers up front. That's the way to go. I mean, look how good we were when Ayeti came on the park. It was unbelievable, the change. He came on, he scored the goal, of course, fantastic. That's 2-2 now for Ayeti. We're really showing that that could be a fantastic signing for his £5 million well spent. Of course, don't want to go too soon about it all, but it's exactly what you're expecting when you pay that sort of money. He came on, scored. Kamala had an amazing chance, which God knows how he didn't bury. That's slightly embarrassing. It's a howler of a miss, can't lie about that. That should be hitting the back of the net. We created a lot of good chances as well, but Forrest hit the bar. Frimpong was fantastic down that right hand side. You know, he brings such an energy into the game, and it's good when he comes off the bench. He livens it up for us on the park. It was brilliant, bombing down that wing, sending balls in. Fantastic player. And even Big Julian getting forward and scoring as well. We were making a lot more chances and we looked a lot more intense and a lot more just determined when we had 2 men up front. I was a big fan of it. We need to keep playing with 2 up front. It works. And that brings me on to the third and final thing. If not now, then especially after this international break, you cannot sit round and tell me, Neil Lennon, that Ayeti and Kamala are not match fit. Yes, Kamala missed an absolute stinker. I think that was more down to probably just a poor finish from him. But Ayeti comes on and scores. Kamala was running up and down. He looked hungry. He was chasing every ball. You know, a big part of his game, we knew when we were signing him, if you've seen any of this kind of stuff that he'd done at Jagiellonia, you know, he was all about running. He liked getting on the end of balls. He was just, you know, a very quick player who done a lot of running about. And we've seen glimpses of that today with the way he played alongside Ayeti. They two are not match fit. There's other players on that starting 11 today, especially Scott Brown, who looked less fit than those two who came on into the game and played up front. Of course, they only played a portion of the game. But if you're telling me we couldn't start the game with Kamala up front or Ayeti up front, especially after this 2-week break, that is absolute nonsense. I don't buy it for a second. Not a single ounce of it will I buy into. They two are fit and ready to play a half each, at least. And it's better that than having Christie suffocated up front, not being able to do what he does best in that number 10 role. Christie needs to get into the, get in, do his thing, you know, come short, get the balls. He's restricted his movement. You know, he loves to get about playing that number 10 role. He can't do that up front as effectively. His average position last week against Dundee United was shocking. Oh, sorry, not even that, it was the midweek game. It was shocking, his average possession. And today, he looked a lot better as soon as he was moved back into number 10. Those two are ready. Ayeti and Kamala are ready to start games. Of course, we'll come back and we'll have Edouard surely fit again to play, which is a massive positive. But I think we can start Ayeti and Edouard up front when we're back from this break. I don't see any indications as to why not. That's two league games for Ayeti. 2 goals in 2 games. What else does he have to do to start a game? Hopefully we see Turnbull get into the team again soon, but no, very impressive from Celtic today. As I said, let's not get too carried away. We've got a long way to go with 2 games to catch up in Rangers, but we couldn't ask for a better result. I said in my match preview we need to win by a few goals, and they delivered that. We got a 3-0. Big Julian getting up and scoring like a striker. That's what Kamalister done for his chance, and somehow he buggered it. God knows what was going through his head. Big Julian, though, big sexy himself. And Forrest, of course, chipping in with a goal as well, silencing a lot of doubters. But trust me, Forrest still was questionable at points in the game today. I'm not going to hide away from that just because he scored. He was, but overall, I can't complain with a 3-0 win. We just need to come back strong. Don't let the international break hold us back at all, and keep going when we play Ross County in a couple of weeks' time. Until then, that's all I can do. The camera's running low, work's starting soon, editing to do. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time.